Hello again. There was a time when a British citizen out and about in the streets would be impossible to find, and nobody could ever establish for certain where he had been or what he had been up to. This meant, of course, that a few criminals got away with things, but for the vast majority of the law-abiding population, it meant freedom from surveillance and government interference. One could hop on a train and go where one pleased, and nobody had the least idea where you were. Those days are gone, and for most of us, freedom to go where we please without anybody keeping track of us is a distant memory. It is so convenient to pay by debit card that most people use that or a mobile telephone to buy a train ticket. From next year it will be impossible to buy an actual ticket. Everything will be done using a mobile. Once on the station, say on the London Underground, cameras track your every movement. The local tube station, Debden, on the Central Line, had no fewer than 40 closed-circuit television cameras which cover every single angle on and around the station. Buying groceries is also done by card, of course, and supermarkets too are covered in a network of cameras which track your every movement. There are similar cameras on the fronts of shops and on things like lampposts. Special camera posts have been erected by the local authority. Even without buying anything, our mobile telephones maintain a precise record of everywhere we go, how long we stop in a particular location and so on. Travelling by car is no better, for cameras follow them everywhere as well. We have all cooperated in this loss of freedom for the sake of convenience. After all, if you've done nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide, and paying by card is so much better than carrying a pocket full of loose change around with you. We do not fight against this creeping control of our lives and monitoring of our every action because it makes our lives easier and more pleasant. In China, all this has developed into a way of life known as the social credit system. Those who work hard, pay their taxes and keep out of trouble can be rewarded with faster hospital appointments, for example. Those who do not toe the line can be forbidden to use trains, or their children can be denied a place at university. We can already discern the first signs in this country of such a method of controlling us. It's not difficult for people's universal credit payments to be delayed, or an application for a passport to take longer than usual. Although there's no reason to suppose that all this is being done systematically, there are rumours of experiments being carried out to nudge people into more socially acceptable behaviour by little delays and encouragements. You see, the Chinese system is so remarkably easy to operate, and it really does give people an inducement to behave like good citizens and not to take part in protests or talk out of turn. After all, we all want an easy life, and if that can be achieved by the surrender of a little freedom, then why shouldn't we do so? The abolition of cash is part of this process because, of course, cash means that people can keep their financial affairs secret. The government will never know what they're up to, what they're buying, what they're doing with their money, where it's coming from, or anything about it. Somebody could even claim universal credit and still be working on the side, cash in hand. Just imagine that. It's hardly possible to do this when every financial transaction is electronic and leaves a permanent record. Not only that, but it means that people can just buy things whenever they feel like it, and nobody will have a record of them doing so. This isn't at all what you want if you aim to keep tabs on the citizenry. Already we have reached a point where a simple trip to the supermarket means passing a dozen cameras which track our progress, and making payment with a card which provides a record of everything we have bought, and these two things can be linked together so that once the government wants to see what we're up to. They only need to cross-check the records from the closed-circuit television cameras with the details of your bank transactions and payments by debit card, and they can see exactly what you were up to, what you were wearing, who you were with, anything at all. Most people take their mobiles with them to the shops, and these record every step of the way and can even tell the government later how many minutes was spent in the supermarket. We are almost at the destination which this particular road is leading us to, which is 100% surveillance of every second of our lives and all that we do and say. It seems to be almost inconceivably unlikely that the government hasn't watched all this and is not planning for the day when all the various strands can be pulled together and fashioned into one coherent and overarching social credit system. One possibly even more comprehensive than that operating in China right now.